Spooky season. What up, peeps? It's your girl Tanya with Books and Brown Liquor. It is the most wonderful time of the year. All right, it's finally fall-ish, but it's fall. So this video is my spooky book haul. Yay! So these are some of my books that I purchased, like this one right here. You see that right here? I'm so sick of creepy clowns. Like, what happened to clowns entertaining you at the circus, doing tricks and making you laugh? Now I see a clown and I want to run. Like, this is ridiculous. You already know what this is, okay? It's a whole bunch of crazy shit, people doing dumb shit, going to investigate, and then they get dealt with by this dude right here. You see him? Isn't that lovely? All right, so I thank you so much for tuning in. This is another chapter of Books and Brown Liquor. Thank you all for tuning in. All right, so I am sharing some of the I bought so many books over the past few months because I'm ridiculous, okay? But today I am sharing the spooky books, the horror books. I know all of us have different levels of what scares us, but this is what I found interesting. But before I get into the books, I gotta talk about, speaking of horror, okay, speaking of horror, I gotta give my 2 cents. I need you to know. I need you to know that I am an avid movie goer. And one thing I love is going to see a scary movie. And to date, my opinion is that Sinners was probably the best scary movie that came out this year. But I went to see a few other things. I went to see Weapons, which I enjoyed very much. I went to see The Conjuring. I gotta talk about it. Someone needs to say it, okay? It needs to be said. Why not me? Okay, it needs to be said. The Conjuring, I had high hopes. I was ready. This is my little makeshift microphone stand, which is a pile of books. But I had high hopes, and what I found is that with The Conjuring, I'm not saying that the events that take place are not scary, but what I found is it's kind of the same thing over and over again. You feel me? Like, the family, they either move into a haunted home or they buy a haunted object from an antique shop. Why do people keep doing this dumb shit? And then after they bring object into home, the shit starts going down. What I found is it's the same thing over and over again. So they bring in the haunted object, the stuff, and this, I'm not going to get into spoilers. This is just a nutshell, okay? And this is not a surprise. You already know, because it's the same thing in every movie, all right? Next thing you know, things start happening. You know, the people are getting smacked around and yoked up. Even the dog is getting his ass towed up too. Like, what did he do? You know what I'm saying? But the stuff is going down. They can't take it anymore. They call Ed and Lorraine. Ed and Lorraine comes in. And what's crazy to me is she'll do like a walkthrough, and then she'd be like, yeah, your house is haunted. Duh, bitch, we know. Like, that's why we called you. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, she assesses the situation. She gives you the breakdown. All right, cool. But then they come in, they pray, they do the ritual, and then there's a gust of wind, and then the evil is gone. It's the same thing every single time. And then what really kills me, after the evil is gone, they cut to the family enjoying life and enjoying each other's company because the house is once again filled with love. They cut to the family at the dinner table. Will you pass the peas, Father? Susie, I love you. I love you too, Father. I'm so happy our house is once again filled with love. I'm so happy the evil is gone and our house is once again filled with love. It's the same thing every time. Like, the evil just went away and now we like breaking bread at the dinner table like nothing happened. And then Ed and Lorraine are portrayed as they're so in love. They're so in love, I tell you. They're just so in love. And then he starts singing, break out the guitar. Come on, everybody, join hands. Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help. Join in, everybody. Falling in love and fighting evil with you. Like, what? And then she'd be like, oh my God, Ed. Okay. So anywho, if that's your bag, enjoy. But honestly, I'm glad this is the last installment. Maybe it was time to just go ahead and wrap this up. You know, that's my opinion. You don't have to agree. That's my 2 cents. But someone needed to say it. Okay, so there you go. You know, more on haunted houses. It's that time of year. Okay. There's always signs when something isn't right and the people ignore it or they can't move or whatever the case. But it's usually the pet. The pet usually knows right away. Whether the pet doesn't go in the house or the pet sees something you don't see, don't ignore it. Don't ignore it. There's something going on. If little Sparky over there in the corner is barking at the wall, don't ignore it. Something must be done, you know? And why do people love so many antique objects? Why do you do this? I personally used to be a fan of vintage things, but after seeing all these movies, I ain't buying vintage shit. Okay? But can you imagine you are just in the antique shop and you come across a doll? Who is buying dolls from the antique shop and putting them in their home? Like, I feel like you asking for it, bruh. You know what I'm saying? Especially after seeing these movies. You know I'm just saying. But anywho, that's my 2 cents. So let's get into the books. More creepy books about people making bad decisions, and I love every bit of it because I find it very entertaining. So like I said earlier, this is my book haul, my spooky book haul. Now, I've bought a lot of books over the past few months. I'm actually looking at the pile over there, but these are the spooky, horror, creepy ones. Did I put young adult? I try not to do young adult horror too much because those they're very PG-13, no shade, but yeah, I'm gonna leave those over there. These are the spooky ones. Okay, so like I said earlier, Clown in a Cornfield by Adam Cesare. You already know what this is. Like I said, things like this remind me of throwback to 80s slasher movies. You know, Quinn Maybrook just wants to make it to graduation, but she might not make it to morning. You see what I mean? It's always teenagers. Anywho, moving on. This one, I don't know if this is really horror or psychological thriller, but I find this very horrifying. This scenario, You Shouldn't Have Come Here by Geneva Rose. You dig? Like, she rents an Airbnb, and then this was that year when outside was closed, that whole debacle, remember that shit? And then she's basically stuck in an R&B, an Airbnb in the middle of nowhere with somebody she don't know, and they can't leave because outside is closed. And then some stuff goes down. That's all I know. Okay. This is one. Check this out. Spin a Black Yarn by Josh Mallerman. This is the man that gave us Bird Box. It's a book of short stories. They are it's described as a spine-chilling collection. He spins 5 twisted tales. That's all I need to know. Okay. And then, this is the type of stuff I love. I read another book by this author, Craig DeLuey. I've heard a lot of things about Suffer the Children. It's something about creepy children that really gets under the skin. So basically what happens is a bunch of children that have passed on to the other side, one day they miraculously come back. You know, when kids come back from the other side, it's never good. Okay, that's all I got to say about that. And then we got, what am I doing? And then, hold on, there's something in my eye. Okay. And then, more people doing dumb things. The Woodkin by Alexander James. Look at that. The Woodkin by Alexander James. Our main character is, his name is Josh, and he's going through a separation. I'm not sure if it's a divorce or a separation from his partner. So he decides he's going to clear his head by going camping in the woods by himself. And some stuff goes down. That's the scariest shit I ever heard of, yo. That's the scariest shit. I'm going to go sleep in the woods all by myself, and I can't wait to read it. Anything can happen on the trail. You damn right. Anything. and you by your damn self. Now this here, look at this cover. Bam. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. It's like scary and like something about it is kind of beautiful. Maybe it's the nails. Their Monstrous Hearts by Yajit Turhan. There's a man. A relative of his has passed away in Italy, and they left him a piece of property. So he flies to Italy and he decides he's going to fix it up and then maybe, I guess, sell it or whatever. But when he gets there, he finds there's a lot more than a villa there. Yay. Yay, I love it. And then this one, I remember reading the synopsis, but I can't remember everything, but I know that it's my type of shit. Fever House by Keith Rawson. Fever House by Keith Rawson. From what I can remember vaguely about the synopsis, because I don't read before I do these videos, is this guy, he works for like, you know, like an underground boss that runs the city. And he goes to someone's house to collect. And instead of collecting what he came for, he finds a hand in the refrigerator. Yeah. And anyone that comes in proximity to this hand, violence follows. Hell yeah. Sign me up, coach. Okay, I'm running out of room. Now, the next book, I actually started some of it, but I didn't finish it, not because the book isn't good, because I started reading something else. Because I have a habit of reading more than one book at a time. So what had happened was I came across Slewfoot. I can't believe I'm just now getting to this. First of all, Slewfoot by Brahm. And let me tell you, not only does he write a good story, there's pictures. Let me show you. You know what I'm saying? There's pictures. So let me tell you about this shit right here, okay? This story takes place in Connecticut in the year of 1666. Our main character, Abatha, she is originally from the UK, and she moves to Connecticut because her father sold her. That's right, because this is back in the day when if your family needed money, you could sell your wife to a man that is willing to marry her. First of all, pause. You mean to tell me, and I know that this was a common practice. I know that like if times were hard financially, you could sell your daughter. All right, cool. But you mean to tell me that you could sell your daughter for a bag of grain, a cow, and like 10 gold pieces? Really? I wish my father would be like, yo, we can't make rent. We got to sell you. Bitch, get a job. What the fuck? Anywho, moving on. So she moves to Connecticut. Now, in the UK, she's a very independent, outspoken woman. But the town that she lives in Connecticut, it's very religious, very rigid, very strict rule under patriarchy, of course. That's right. So there's rules, like you must attend church. If you don't follow the rules, the consequences are harsh. The things they're doing to these people, if you don't do what you're told, is crazy. The fuck? But again, Connecticut, 1666, you feel me? So what happens is our main character, Abatha, she lives on a farm, and this is not a spoiler. This is very, very early in the book. She is a widow. She becomes a widow very quickly. And basically, because she is a farmer, there's a lot riding on the upcoming harvest. If the harvest is not good, she could possibly lose this farm. Okay. Her husband has passed, and the other people in the town are like, yo, like there's no way a woman could do this by yourself. Like just sell the farm and be done. You know what I'm saying? But she's like, no, she's determined to make it through. She is determined to man this farm by herself. And the people in town are like, yo, just give up, you stupid woman. Like, there's no way. Like, basically, they want her land, and they're basically just waiting for her to fail. Fun fact about Abatha. What they don't know about Abatha is Abatha got back up. You dig? And I can't wait for them to fuck around and find out. That's all I know. But so far, so good. I'm enjoying this book very much. And then another book by the same author is, oh gosh, this is heavy. Hold up. Let me get my book pile back. Lost Gods. Sorry, the ring light. Lost Gods by Brahm. Yeah, and this is another one with pictures. Where the pictures at? Yo, peep it. Peep this shit right here, yo. Look at that shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So this is about a man that is fighting to save the soul of his family. Sign me up, coach. Okay. And then the last two. Okay. Stephen King is my favorite because no spooky season would be complete without Sir Stephen King. I got Fairy Tale. It's about a boy that inherits a magical kingdom and all these things go down. I don't necessarily know if this is horror, but if it's Stephen King, it's creepy enough for me. And then last but not least, I'm finally going to read it, y'all. Okay? Finally, I'm going to read this book. Let me tell you what happened. Every time I go to the bookstore, I pick this book up, but I'm intimidated. You know why? Look at this shit. Look at it. Fucking 1,153 pages of terror. Sorry if I spit. 1,153 pages of terror. Every time. What the fuck? I ain't got 1,200 pages in me, bruh. But look at that. This shit is thicker than a brick. You could bust a car window with this shit. Anywho, I picked it up because Welcome to Derry. Yay. Welcome to Derry is finally it's finally starting in October. And whenever a new series is coming out, I rewatch everything. So I'm going to rewatch the old It. I know. I love the horror. I know. I'm going to rewatch it. And then I'm going to read the book because I heard the book is scarier than the movie. I'm going to tell you right now, I found the movie to be pretty scary. And I know that people be like, that movie wasn't that scary. Mind your business. I think it's scary. I heard the book was scarier. And I have found, it has been my observation that Stephen King movie adaptations, the books are always better. The books are always better. I learned that with The Shining. So now, before I watch Derry or Welcome to Derry, because it's finally starting in October, I'm going to do it. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And I'm probably going to, what do they call it? Immersive read this, where I read it and listen to the audiobook at the same time, because that's a lot of words, bro. Like, damn, that's a lot of words. But I'm going to do it. So anyway, that is my spooky book haul. This is me buying books. Like, the money will never run out because there's a whole nother pile over there, but it's whatever. These are the spooky ones that I am going to get into. And thank you for watching. What scary books are you reading this season? What scary movies are you watching that are coming out soon? Like I said, I saw The Conjuring. I already shared my thoughts. I saw him. I think that Marlon Wayans did an amazing job. The movie was a little weird, but I think Marlon Wayans did an amazing job. Weapons was enjoyable. Weapons was really enjoyable. And I found out they're making another one. Black Phone is coming out. If you saw Black Phone 1, it is back, honey, with the same character. He's back for round 2 with the Ops. What else is coming out that I care about? I think that's there's another movie, but I can't remember the name. But those are the ones I care about. I'm still on the fence about if I'm going to go see The Long Walk. Not sure. Have you guys seen The Long Walk? Have you seen Weapons? Have you seen him? Have you seen The Conjuring? What are your thoughts? Because I was just sharing my thoughts. I know that you don't necessarily have to agree with me, but wise men say only fools rush in. Just kidding. Anywho, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching my book haul. As always, I wish you good reading and share your spooky books. Thank you so much. Bye.